Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dad Bod Pod, a place for men to learn, grow, and live the healthiest life possible. We are your hosts, Jason Priest, Zach Smith, and Anthony Hudson, and we are here to do our normal fireside chat with you guys today. If you're a brand new listener, go back and check out some of the prior episodes. We are over 120 deep now, so there's a ton of valuable information for you. If you're a long-time listener, thank you so much for being here. And if you get any value out of today's episode, please take 10 seconds out of your day. Drop us a quick review. That's what helps grow the show. That's what helps get the show into the ears of more men who could potentially change their lives and become the healthiest version of themselves. So we are going to dive right in today. Zach, Anthony, what's going on? How are you guys doing? It is Super Bowl weekend today. Actually, Super Bowl Sunday today while we are filming this. So,
yeah.
We are pumped about this one.
Good.
What's going on,
First
guys?
off, who do you guys got? Who we rooting for? We got TB12, we got Tampa Bay, or we got Mahomes and the Chiefs?
You know,
come on, I want to hear it.
I don't really have any skin in the game as a Lions fan. And somebody who's lived a very miserable life when it comes to being a football fan. I don't have skin in the game today. However, if Tom Brady wins, I'm not going to be mad about it. I think the reality here is we are seeing one of the, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. You can argue talent all day long, right? If we're going to say talent, probably Aaron Rodgers in terms of athletic ability.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially, maybe one day Patrick Mahomes with the way that he plays. But in terms of greatness and just being able to win year in and year out, Tom Brady is it, man. So I don't really have somebody that I'm pulling for, but either way, it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that's a tough call, man. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady, dude. Let's just face it.
It is.
It could literally go either way, man. It's not about who's better. It's about which team just has a better day overall. Because both teams are great, man. Both quarterbacks are amazing, man. It's too hard to tell. I wouldn't put money on this, man. It could go either way, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Anthony?
Agreed. Yeah, I just want it to be a good game. I think part of me, I mean, the Chiefs are so explosive, right? And they haven't, to me, I don't know if they've played up to the potential all year long. And seeing a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, well, that's great. There's something to be said about seeing Brady win one more and doing it without the Patriots and without Belichick, right? So I would kind of like to see that, but I don't know if he's going to retire after this year. Maybe if he wins, he might. If not, he might come back for more. So either way, I think he's definitely put himself at the top of the food chain as far as best of all time for sure. So just even by getting to the Super Bowl, even if he doesn't win it, right? Because without Belichick. So, we'll see. Like I said, I just want it to be a good game and enjoy myself and eat a little good food, right?
No,
we do on Super Bowl.
Dude,
it's like the only major – yeah, right. It's like the only non-holiday that revolves around food as well, right?
It's an American holiday, man.
Holidays.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
right,
I'll add to that in terms of skin in the game. There is one guy, and like some people out there are going to hate this guy, but like I had a near and dear love for this man when he played for the Lions, and that's Ndamukong Suh. And I know he went to Nebraska. I know you probably have a little fandom in you there, but seeing him win a Super Bowl won't make me mad either. And so if I guess if I got to pull for somebody, it'll be Tom Brady again. They say that the Patriot way was such a big thing for a long time, and now is it the Tom Brady way? Is that what we're seeing?
Right.
I guess we'll see. Time will tell. As once Belichick gets an actual legitimate quarterback, what he can do with that team. But man, it's been something great to see. So I think it's a good transition over because I think with Tom Brady. One thing I want to touch on is the dude is 43, and he looks still pretty youthful. And I think that I think there's a lot of people who used to make fun of the way he looked when he came into the NFL. I don't know if you guys remember his like pictures when he was at the combine. He was like the normal, not a dad bod, but he wasn't really what he is now, right? And I haven't seen the dude without a shirt off. But the reality is this guy spends countless amounts of hours on taking care of himself, and not just with working out. Like he's got all these extra, and I know we're not all in a position to be able to do that, but it just goes to show, when you're putting in the work and doing the things you need to take care of yourself from top to bottom, not just with fitness, but I mean, I would imagine this guy has like an elite skincare regimen that most dudes would never consider. So cool.
Sure.
Well,
Everything. I think everything to the extreme with him. Absolutely. Every facet of it.
You know, and he sacrificed a lot of money to stay with the Patriots. And when you have a wife that's worth more than you are, I believe, not a hard decision, right? So, okay, cool. Well, this brings me to this, because I know this is a topic that a lot of guys out there struggle with. And even in our private community, right? Like, we've got guys that travel all the time. And I know both of you guys traveled this week. And I know I dealt with some challenges this week myself, being forced. I say being forced. I was honored to have to work out at home this week because my wife's car broke down. We ended up finally getting her a new car. That transaction happened on Friday. If you've never been in a Volkswagen Atlas, man, this car is like super, super sharp. It's about the same size as her Explorer. But dude, like, I will tell you that sitting in the seats inside that thing in the back, and then in the very back, it's like, it seems to be significantly more room. And so I'm pumped for my wife. She deserved a new car. But with all that being said, we had a lot of wrenches thrown our way, right, in our normal routines. Zach, you traveled to California from Vegas. I know, Anthony, you flew to Dallas this week. So let's expand on how, when that stuff happens, because if there's a lot of guys out there listening to this show that do a lot of traveling for work. And so let's expand on that, and let's talk about how, you know, we are able to stay on track and stay, you know, dialed in with all of our health habits when these types of things come up. And so either one of you want to dive into this. I know, Zach, you traveled on the weekend, but let's just talk about this. I don't know what you're doing in terms of workouts there on the weekends, but let's dive a little bit and unpack this a bit for our listeners, because I think that there's a lot of value that can be had in knowing what, you know, one of our routines would be like.
Yeah, man. I'm actually, I mean, as you could tell my background, I'm actually not in Las Vegas right now. I'm in California currently, just kind of recording. That's just prop this on top of a drawer, man. But we got to do what we got to do, right? That's what we always say.
No doubt.
So one thing that I like to do is we talk about consistent, like, we talk about behaviors, right? So I try to at least I'm really consistent when it comes to the gym, especially back home. I work out, you know, for me, my training regimen is a little different. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6 days, but here I don't have access to a gym. So what I try to do is at least have some kind of, like, carve out some time in my day for some type of activity level, anything, any kind of activity. So it doesn't have to be weights. It doesn't have to be sprints. It could be a walk. Okay. It could be a walk. It's just so that your mind remembers, you know, it's time to get a workout in. It doesn't have to be intense. So what I'm doing right now, I'm focusing primarily on at least having some good lean protein and staying active and carving out some day to make sure that I stay consistent with my behaviors, so I don't let it just go downhill and spiral out of control.
I love that. And let me just add to that. I think I love that you said behaviors over routine, because the reality is when you're in a situation like you and you can't keep the same routine, you're then defaulting to behaviors. And I think that's pretty powerful, because there's a lot of guys out there, and we talk about this often, is progress over perfection, right? There's a lot of guys out there, even in our free group, that are always, you know, that I've heard them on our live streams recently about, hey, you know, like, if I mess up once, I'm throwing in the towel. Like, I beat myself up really, really bad over that. And I think it's good to note this, because I'm thinking of a couple clients in our program right now who have gone back and forth between the gym and home workouts during all this pandemic stuff, right? Oh, we're going to open up the gyms now. Oh, nope. We're going to close them back. Oh, now we're going to open them up. So this guy actually bought a full dumbbells and all the equipment to have both. And I love that, because he can then still keep a same routine. But in your situation, you're defaulting to behaviors because you realize you're not going to have the stuff available that you normally do. And I think that's so key, is like just staying active, even when you go on a vacation, right? My goal is not to go do workouts on vacations, but I know that I'm going to probably eat pretty shitty on vacation, and I accept that. And so if I can get in a walk in the morning, or maybe I park a little bit further if we're at the beach, so that I have to walk a little bit further in the sand just to burn a little bit more calories and keep that mentally going in my mind, I think it's pretty powerful. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, man. And just real quick, like when it comes to routines are awesome, but when you do the routine, you practice routine enough, it gets to a point where we get to behaviors. And when we talk about behaviors, now we're talking about identity. So I identify myself as somebody who will do what it takes to get where they want. I will stay active. I will be active. I will eat what needs to be eaten to get where I want to go. But when we're on vacation, this is great. This is exactly what we wanted to talk about. What do we do? How do we pivot when we're not in that same circumstance we're typically in? But I just really want to emphasize that we want to get to a point where we can have these behaviors just embedded into us, because now that's who we identify as, and that is the strongest way to stick to your plan, I think.
No, I love it. I love it. What you got, Anthony? I know you're probably chomping at the bit to get in here, but I think Zach,
no, you guys are doing great.
You touch on the behaviors, and I think this really, it keeps going back to this concept that we talk about often as well, is like that micro discipline equaling that macro, right? You know your identity is the guy that you want to become, the most elite version of yourself. And you know that those behaviors or those micro disciplines have to be followed in order to reach that pinnacle, right? And so I love it. So what you got, my man?
Yeah, so having that routine, to Zach's point, and having, those habits already developed, those behaviors are great, because that leaves you more bandwidth and more decision-making power. Because what is the stat? I don't know. We have opportunities to make decisions, like, I don't know how many tens of thousands of decisions every single day that come across in our day, right? So then once we have a decision that needs, or have something that needs a little more focus on it, we've still got that bandwidth, that power, that energy. We're not in decision fatigue, right? The other thing I love about it is, so when a decision does come up that's outside of the routine, we need to be thinking about our future self, not our current self, right? So what is this decision doing for my future self? Goes back to that identity that Zach was talking about. My future self wants to be this, this, and this. This is what I'm striving for, not my current self, which is where I'm at. So, hey, nobody's going to know, or it's not going to make a big deal if I make a less great decision right now, because I'm thinking about where I'm at right now versus thinking about my future self that I want to go after, right? So that's a big part of this too. So got to have a routine when you travel, vacation as well. So I'll give you guys a quick story from my trip, because I had some major hiccups happen during my trip to Dallas this week. So excited to share those. But I want you guys to understand, when I travel, like, I'm putting my workout outfits in, because I know that I've got 3 days. That means at least 3 workouts. So I'm planning that, packing that ahead of time. I'm also looking at my hotel. Hey, does it have a gym? Hey, what does that look like? If it doesn't have a gym, is there a local place that I'm either a member of here or I can go to and get a workout in? If not, hey, I'm going outside, right? I'm packing for outdoor weather, depending on what climate I'm going to as well. So planning ahead, because I'll tell you, I met with a couple guys, and I was going there to meet some guys I've gotten close with for a mastermind event that I went to in Dallas, and their hotel's gym was closed, right? So we had to meet outside and go work out. Mine was open, but mine I had to set appointments for, which I didn't know at the time as well. So that got me triggered and fired up, because my times were already taken. So what we ended up doing was we went outside, we found a parking lot that was empty and wide open, and we're doing sprints, we're doing burpees, we're doing relay races, right? So sprint down, come back, push-ups, sprint down, come back, jump squats, sprint down, come back, burpees, and tremendous workout. Plus it's cold in Nebraska. So being in Dallas, I got the opportunity to be outside and breathe that fresh air and be, it got to be, there was one day it was 40 degrees out, but that's a heck of a lot nicer than it is in single digits right now and snowing in Nebraska. So, and I was triggered there. I got mad. Like, I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Somebody booked this time. There's a whole gym and only one person could be in the gym at the same time. Wow. Ultimately, it was kind of my own fault, because I didn't plan ahead. I thought I did, but I didn't realize that I was going to have to set an appointment to work out in the exact gym. So then it was like, all right, compromise, get it out of your head. Ultimately it was not the hotel's fault. It was my fault, because I didn't check, I didn't ask. And then we pivoted and did what we needed to do. So same thing happened with dinner the first night I flew in. So I flew in on a Wednesday night. I was already going to be late to dinner just flying in. So I was trying to be on point, and there happens to be 2 different restaurants. It's the same restaurant, 2 different locations. Well, of course, in my Uber, I plugged in the wrong location to the wrong one. So I show up at this restaurant already late, and of course it's the wrong restaurant, right? So of course I'm mad. I'm thinking, oh, this is Uber's fault, but ultimately knowing, all right, slow down. We can still figure this out. I ended up, it was a mess. It was a pain, but we ended up making it. I made it to the dinner. I didn't get to eat there, but then, DoorDash and all these other things, eventually, found a healthy option. got that delivered, still got to eat, like it all, you know. So plan out accordingly as best you can, but also don't sweat the small stuff, right? Okay, so yeah, I didn't work out, or I didn't get a workout with weights, but I did body weight and did a workout that was tremendous that I hadn't done anything like that in a long time. It felt amazing afterwards, and so did the guys we worked out with as well. And then as far as, you know, meals go, you know, you can figure it out, right? So try to plan all that stuff ahead of time, but if it does go sideways, you know, don't sweat it, right? I mean, it's not that big a deal. We'll do better the next day, right? So just plan accordingly and go from there. Like, because I have a temper sometimes. Like it flared up a couple times on me, but I realized, hey, you know, it's not the end of the world. So just wanted to share some of that because it happens. You can plan, but again, we talk about it all the time. Life's gonna kick you in the nuts, right? Like Jason likes to say. So
well,
anyway,
and
just want to share
that. There's so many things that I can piggyback off of this, but the one thing that I want to point out is the fact that you obviously were triggered and angry because you mentioned it multiple times, right? It's not something you just said once. And the reason that I want to bring that up is because what you did was you pivoted, right? You pivoted and used that anger or that triggered feeling that you had to say, you know what, I'm still going to make it happen. And I think where a lot of guys go wrong is they do sweat the small stuff, right? If everything doesn't go perfectly, then your world just comes crashing down. And the reality is it's about, and we talk about this a lot, man, but embracing this as a journey, right? This is not a finish line. Just because today didn't go exactly as you planned, doesn't mean tomorrow can't be a better day. And it doesn't mean you can't make the best out of today. And I think that's such a powerful thing because, again, I think, you know, what I and you guys correct me if I'm wrong or whether you feel like we're on the same wavelength here, but I see this a lot. Is like guys will let themselves get to a point where they're so fed up, they're so sick and tired of being sick and tired that the new plan with their plan of action, it has to be perfect. And once it's perfect, they start taking action. And then as soon as something happens that they don't, you know, that didn't go perfectly to plan, it is like the whole world just ends because, you know, everything was going well. Maybe they built up a little bit of momentum over a week or two, and then boom, like they miss a workout or something happens. And it's like, well, I put all this effort in, and now it's all ruined by one bad meal or by one missed workout. And that's just, it couldn't be further from the truth. And I think what you said, Anthony, to your point about, look, man, like you can make a plan and it's good to plan ahead, but sometimes that plan's not going to go out, you know, not going to fall out as you hope, or it's not going to play out as you hope. And it's about pivoting, man. And I think the whole traveling thing is so huge. So I agree with that.
It is, man.
For sure.
If we talk about imperfections, I mean, let's talk about Super Bowl, dude. We know how many people out there are going to eat bad, right? I'm including myself, man. I'm not at home right now. I'm at my parents' house visiting.
You're going to eat like shit. So am I.
I eat like trash, dude.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What we want to emphasize, we're all talking about great pivots and healthy habits, behaviors, and healthy choices. But at the same time, dude, we got to enjoy life too. So let's flip the script a little bit and talk about that, because even people who are health conscious like us, we still indulge ourselves too. We just don't allow it to get out of control. But today, I'm going to eat a lot of chicken wings, dude. A lot.
And you're not going to think about it tomorrow, dude.
I'm going to think about it too much, dude. No, I'm not. I'm going to be happy as heck, and I'm going to watch the Super Bowl, and I'm going to eat chicken wings, all right? That's going to be my day. But you know what's going to happen? I don't let that take over. I don't be like, oh no, my diet is ruined. It's over. Dude, if I forget to brush my teeth one day, I don't say, oh, I'm going to start on, New Year's. I'm going to start over.
I hope you're not forgetting to brush your teeth.
Yeah, you just brush your teeth. You're like, oh crap, I didn't brush my teeth this morning. Oh, I'll do it. You do it now, right? Nobody.
Yeah, that's not something that you're putting off, because I love that you bring that up, because I've had many episodes where I talk about non-negotiable priorities, and I'm like, you got to get to where exercise and like eating healthy become non-negotiable priorities, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower.
Yep.
And I've actually posed that question to the audience before. It's like, you wouldn't go a day without brushing your teeth or taking a shower, right? Well, one could argue that exercise or nutrition is more important than either one of those.
Absolutely.
So why do we rank hygiene above things that are actually more valuable for our body? And now you're sitting here talking about skipping brushing your damn teeth. So
yeah, but my point is, so many people, and it's call it what it is. It's a weak mentality, right? It's just a reason it's an easy cop out. It's an easy excuse to make, right? Because once they start doing it, they realize how hard it is. Because by no means is it an easy journey. It's a simple journey, but is by no means easy. It takes
you're
a
just
lot
allowing your brain, you're giving your, like you said, it's excuses, right? When you, as
Yeah.
soon as that negotiation process starts and you start talking yourself out of stuff, that's when that thing starts to compound and becomes a vicious cycle. Because it's always about, well, I'll just do it next week. I'll just put it off till tomorrow. And I think, the whole why wait thing, like the reality is, dude, you might not have tomorrow. You might be a couple months away from getting diagnosed with type 2 diabetes if you don't take action now. There's a lot of people out there that are close to that, right? And so, where you feel like you might have a little bit of extra leeway might not really necessarily be true. And you keep talking yourself out of these things. And so I think that's important to know.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's just, the wheels are going to fall off the wagon every once in a while. You got to get right back on. So if you want to have your treat meal, that's fine. So then the next meal, we're dialing it back in, right? So the follow-up meal to that, something I always like to say is, obviously never skip a Monday, right? Never skip a Monday workout, and never eat 2 bad meals in a row, right? 2 bad meals in a row, because that's when the cycle starts going the other way.
You're giving yourself leverage. So, you give yourself leverage, right? It's that leverage in the wrong direction.
Yes.
And so, no, and I agree with that. And I'll use myself as an example. I love that you brought up jump squats, because those things really suck. So Wednesday was leg day for me, and there was no gym this week, right? Wife's car thing happened, so she's been taking my truck, and I'm not going to walk to the gym. I mean, could I? Yeah, but it's a 7-minute drive, so that just makes a big dent in my day if I'm going to try to do all that. So I was like, I'll just work out from home. And so I did 3 sets of 20 jump squats just as like my first leg exercise. And dude, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I do legs, I don't do heavy squats anymore because I got a knee that I'm pretty sure I tore a ligament all the way through. I don't know if it's ACL, MCL. It hurt for 1.5 years before I finally got rid of the pain. And now, like, I can tell that it's unstable. And so I don't want to be the guy that just blows out a knee with squats. So I do not do heavy squats anymore. But when I go in, I'm doing heavy leg press, leg extension, leg curl, the whole nine. And I will tell you, dude, I was more sore after Wednesday's home workout because I hit muscles and muscle angles that I don't normally hit. And so I just did some jump squats, some lunges, some calf raises, just a mixture of stuff. And dude, my glutes were sore for 3 damn days after just some jump squats. And so I think, that there's that positive end of that too, is like, yeah, your plan didn't go through, but it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're going to challenge your body in a different way. And I'm sure you felt the same way after your workout in the parking lot too. So. Yeah,
I'm sore for sure. Sore for sure. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Like switching it up every once in a while, for sure. Like routines are great, but also sometimes routines are meant to be broken and adjusted a little bit too in advance. So
jump squats are the worst.
For sure.
Jump squats are the cousins of burpees, and we all know burpees were invented by the devil. So let's not talk about that on this Holy Sunday, huh?
No, we'll be done. We'll be done with that.
Dude, like I'm telling you, man, every time I do them, I know that I'm going to pay afterwards. And when I get to like the 17th and 18th one, I'm like, shit, I got to jump 2 more times after that. Like they're not very fun. They are the cousin of burpees. So, well, I mean, I think we hit on a lot of good stuff. Any advice for anybody out? I know you guys, I know Anthony, you travel a lot more than myself, and probably Zach as well, but any last minute advice for the traveling man out there who might be struggling with consistency right now?
Yeah, I think, again, try to plan it out ahead of time, right? You got to pack your bag. So plan out your meals you best you can and know where you're going. And if you're going somewhere different all the time, that's going to take a little bit more work. Like for me, it's pretty routine. I go to the same places a couple times a month, and I know typically now where I'm going to eat, where I'm going to get my workout in, what time I'm going to fly in, what time I'm flying out. Like it's pretty streamlined, right? And if it's not, that's okay. Just spend an extra half hour, 45 minutes planning out, hey, I know that, that we're probably going to go out for some cocktails, right? I know that maybe that's something that's going to happen. So maybe I'm going to have to get my workout in before we do that, because before we even leave for the day, because maybe I know that I'm not going to have time to do it, right? And then it's okay. So I'm having I'm calling it a night at a certain time so that I know I can get up early enough to work out and not skip it before I have to go about doing whatever I need to do while I'm traveling, right? So I try to set the tone and have those things established ahead of time, right? And again, and then it's not sweating the small stuff because something's going to happen, something. It's a lot of times when you travel, expect the unexpected, different environments, right? Pop-ups, environments you're not used to. So, which is not a bad thing, but again, it can transition very, very quickly into something not so good. So just set, keep the promises you make to yourself and then plan it out ahead of time a little bit. You don't have to spend days and months and don't let it stress you out, right? If something doesn't go exactly as planned, you can fix it the next day, right? You just go a little harder the next day. So that's my advice, I guess.
No, it's great advice. It's great advice. Zach, you got anything before we close shop today, my man?
Man, Anthony hit it on the head with that, man. He's absolutely right, dude. Not everything's gonna go our way all the time, and we don't get to choose what happens to us sometimes, but we always get to choose how we react to it, right?
There you
100%.
It kind of goes back to who we are, right? Our identity, our behaviors. So we just have to get to a point where we do something so much, and this could be another completely different topic on habit building, but we just got to get to a point where we do these things so much it becomes our identity. We have to, like Jason says, our non-negotiables. So it really does depends. Like, are you? And my answer will vary depending on, are you traveling for business all the time, or is it a vacation? Because obviously it's going to be a little
different mentality for sure,
right?
Yeah,
a different mentality. But what is consistent with both is our non-negotiables. It doesn't matter if it's business, it doesn't matter if it's personal.
There you go.
There is a set of behaviors and patterns that we know we need to maintain in order to be this person that we know we want to become, or that we are and we want to maintain. So there are certain non-negotiables, just like staying active, whether it's something small like taking a walk or hitting the gym, or walk if you don't have access to the gym like me right now, but they're non-negotiables. So and they don't have to be a lot. Don't overwhelm yourself, man. 1 or 2 things just to make sure you keep that strong state of mind and keep that momentum going, because it is so hard to build back up if you lose it. So that's my take right there.
I love it. No, those are that's all great advice, man. And for any of you guys who are out there struggling right now with consistency, or you just don't know where to start, the one thing that I would tell you is just remember, wherever you're at right now is not who you are. It's just where you're at. And, as cliche as it is, it really comes down to putting one step in front of the other, man, or taking one step, putting one foot forward and starting the process. Because until you start building momentum, the back pedal will continue to happen for you. And so if you got value out of today's episode at all, again, do us a favor, take 10 seconds, drop us a quick review so that we can get this into the ears of more men who could potentially change their lives, and share it with a friend. The reality is this: if you've got guys in your life that might be in a worse place than you are right now, share this episode with them so that they can get this valuable information in their ears as well. And then come join us. If you want more weekly content like this every single week, come join our free Facebook group. The link is in the comments, but just go over to join.discussionswithdadsgroup.com. And we do ask for your phone number and email. We're going to send you stuff that we think you love, notifications for our live streams every Wednesday. You can opt out of those at any time. But if you want more information and more inspiration, more motivation, more health content from Zach, Anthony, myself, come join us over there in our free group. And you guys crush it this week. We'll see you next week in our next episode. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk soon.